Hey, Spike to me or Demon Select Alliance, it's me, Spike goes on the video. Coming up in this video, I'm going to be doing two things. First off, I'm going to be drawing two characters for a event going on the Popcross Community Redraw, where we take some admins from the Popcross Discord and turn them into D&D characters. I use Speci and turned him into a Warforged Rogue Blood Hunter, and WoW, and turned her into a Tiefling Way of the Open Hand Monk. Then in the second part, I take mine and Joker Joe 65's, I believe, old Spire Sonas and redesign them. I changed mine up quite a bit and didn't really change up his a lot. And I show you his new version right around before I start drawing mine. So without further ado, let's roll into this video and let's go. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. Let's see, shall we? There was a lot of people that, well, for the record, it's me, Dynamus, aka DM, and I'm going to talk to you about some more people I found interesting while going through some interesting papers I have. Like character sheets from D&D. The first people I found were, funny enough, some people who were looking to play the game D&D a few years ago. Well, right now. Name Speci, I believe. I don't know how to pronounce this one's name. Race is Warforged. His class is a interesting combination of Rogue and Blood Hunter. The reason why I say interesting is because he was originally a rogue, so he can gain information on the creator of his creator. You see, he was created and didn't really have a set goal like most Warforged do, but he was also given something of a personality. He and his own being. He doesn't know that his past self was, his memories are wiped, and he's just not really a blank slate. His soul still has its personality and all that, but he doesn't have any goals or anything. So he decided to give himself the goal of trying to find his creator and find out what his original purpose was supposed to be. He managed to, well, after a while, actually meet up with some people, and being a rogue, it was actually relatively helpful because his body was relatively large, but he was actually surprisingly, how do you say, sneaky, because his body was made out of a very light material. He doesn't have a clue what it's made out of, although he is relatively intelligent. He is very fast and nimble, but he's also known to be quite brash and blunt at times. And that is indeed a pun, because his one hand can actually switch out for a mace. Later became a blood hunter to actually intimidate some people, and for it to actually help him, because he learned that blood hunting was actually a relatively interesting sort, because it would actually help him track down his creator a lot faster. So he went into that class, and I don't really know what kinds of blood things he uses, but if I remember correctly, one is something got to do with the eyeless, and trust me, he uses this to blind his opponents, and when they can finally see again, he's directly in their face with a dagger. This really scares them, because the last thing they know was he was about 500 feet away. And let's just say that most people are down to have whatever they were digesting in their pants within a few minutes. The next person we're going to talk about is WoW, or Love, I can't really pronounce her name. But anyways, Love is a tiefling who is quite interesting in the fact that, unlike her sisters and brothers of her family, her skin is not a red color, but instead a more of a pale orange. She reminds me of a Dioxys creature, from another dimension, like Pokemon. But she also has some claws on her fingers that were actually made by a artificer friend of hers. If I remember correctly, I don't remember who it was, but this person made her these fingers a few weeks after an incident that she lost both her legs. She is a friend of Speci who has a lot of spare parts laying around. Some noticeably claws from back when he was still being more of a rogue, and they were quite sharp, and so she was also away as the open hand monk. So her artificer friend, with the permission of Speci, turned those meant to be arms, into fully functional lower legs because during an encounter with an enemy, she lost everything from her knee and below. So she was pretty much just a person who was pretty much nearly legless. So the artificer made her the legs, and she can now strike enemies and relatively shred them up easily with her claws on her feet. But she later got her claws from the artificer for her hands, so she can deal the same amount of damage, if not more, with her hands. She's also learned to be very athletic and very flexible. But she's always been relatively flexible, and she was able to use her flexibility into some relatively interesting ways. Like this one time, she actually used this to wrap around someone and grapple them down, while threatening to chop off both their toes, knock out one eye, maybe even two, shove one up their nose, and cut off their tongue, and also their balls. The person spilled the beans after that. Okay, these next two are going to be the redesign of the spider sonas. For both me being first, and then Joker 65's spider sona being redesigned. So let's get directly into that. Okay, as for the new design for the spider sonas, the first one was, like I just said, mine, and I actually changed it up, like I said, a lot compared to my older one. I just now realized that I made the thing look more like a big-headed bullet ant with 8 legs for the symbol. Could really change that up by elongating the little spikes on it and stuff like that. But hey, this is a redesign. I could do another one later. This is still not going to be taking place in any universe I've gotten so far, but maybe actually draw like a Drake of this or something. I still don't really know. But this could be an interesting concept for one. But I also changed the name from, what was his name? What was my guy's original name? One second. Okay. Oh, yes. Scarlet Spike was his original identity, and Domestic Purple Spider was his hero name. It's like his alter ego or vigilante persona. But I decided to change that up and not include a real name, possibly because it still is Scarlet Spike, but it could be something different. Comment down in the description, in the comment section, if you have any ideas. But yeah, what I changed, like you can already tell, I changed up this color scheme a little. I did keep the purple, but I added darker accents of it, darker colors of the purple woodgie, if you will. But I did keep that web in there as a good idea. Something else I changed about it was the feet. Instead of your standard feet, I gave it a more of a two-toed and claw hook sort of look. I can see this guy being having some actual powers of a Demost, and actually being granted the ability to shapeshift his body parts. And I can also see the little gauntlet-like things on his wrist actually being, actual real gauntlets. Not like gauntlets, more like what Scarlet Spider has in the comics or in the Amazing Spider-Man web TV series. He can actually shoot a spike out through his arm or whatever. I don't really remember, but that's a power I really liked about from some Spider-Man. That's why I incorporated it into my guy. And also it just made a lot more sense. And the 4 spider legs in the back just give it a lot more creepy vibe to it. I just really like this overall design a lot more than the original. So I'm actually now thinking about I actually am making a Drake or possibly even a dragon species over this one. But now for Joker 65's design, or as what he goes by now as, well, yeah, still Joker Joe 65. But anyways, his design, like you just saw, it was a more beefy version of his original, and I'd say more dark in color. But the one I did for him, I kept the original costume and just made some tweaks to it. Also giving it more of a mouth guard-esque design. And it's the same type of mouth guard I usually do for some of my mechs, which I do a lot of. Also, I calmed down all the crazy over the top directions over the webs, and just calmed it down a little and made it more simple. What I did was make it just like a figure 8 pattern and keep it green. From the original, which was standing still, it had big eyes, and the hands were a little bit bigger. I actually made the hands a little bit smaller, and actually changed up like the eye color, and actually made it a little bit how do you say, lighter-esque. It's really hard to say, but I did change up the colors quite a bit. And unlike the legs being pure black, I changed them to a color scheme that was actually fully green with a dark green-esque gray for right above the boots, well, the shoes, or whatever in the hands. I also did do the same colors like for like the lights on the shoulder armor bits. Also, I did change up the little symbol and made it more of a instead of just like the original 4 looking like a dead animal, I changed it up and gave it a full-on 8 legs. So there's that. I also did change up the look of it, and if you did actually get a quick look at the original of Joker Joe 65's design, you can see that he had like a little fireball in his hands or whatever. I don't really know what that was supposed to be. Maybe it's like and I just now realized I forgot to incorporate the electric shock around this one's hand. Anywho, yeah. I just now realized that I messed that up. Okay, due to me just now realizing that, I actually did go in and fix it, and after I decided to keep the 2 drawings in, like the original idea of it, and then I remembered the electrification, like, cool design to it, so I added that in both pictures. You can actually find them, and just a little detail around that one hand. But overall, actually made this drawing come out relatively well. So, that's pretty much all the drawings for today. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed today's video, because I'm afraid that's all the time I got for today. Until next time, though, subscribe to the video, or do you must Goodbye, and peace out, everyone.